Whispers from the morgue. Working the night shift at the morgue was supposed to be easy, but when the bodies started whispering my name, I knew something had followed me home. It all began 2 weeks ago when I was assigned to handle a particularly gruesome accident victim. As I stitched the lifeless body back together, I could have sworn I heard a faint, raspy voice croak my name. I shrugged it off as exhaustion. After all, the hours were long, and sleep was a luxury I couldn't afford. Acting on adrenaline and creeping dread, I installed a small camera in a cold, sterile room. Reviewing the footage later, I saw nothing out of the ordinary, until I reached the final minutes. A shadowy figure loomed over the table, and though it had no visible mouth, I heard my name again, reverberating through the speakers. Panic tightening my chest, I looked around my apartment, suddenly aware of how the shadows seemed to stretch and dance in the dim light. Was it just paranoia, or was something really in the room with me? The whispers grew louder, more insistent, each night at the morgue. They didn't stop when I left work. They followed me home, echoing through the hallways and slipping through the cracks of my consciousness. One evening, I came home to find my door slightly ajar. Inside, everything looked untouched, except for the single, bloody handprint smeared across my bathroom mirror. My heart pounded as I realized the handprint didn't match any of the bodies I'd worked on. Something was here, something that had never been alive. Desperation led me to research the history of the morgue, uncovering a dark past filled with illegal experiments and restless spirits. I found an old diary from a former worker who described the same whispers, the same creeping dread. As I read the final entry, the room grew cold, and I felt the breath against my neck. The last thing I remember before blacking out was a cold, skeletal hand clutching my shoulder, pulling me into the darkness. When I woke up, I was on the steel table, surrounded by those lifeless bodies, all their eyes open, staring at me. The whispers were now a chorus, and I knew I would never escape.